Here we go. Morning, YouTube. Today we're going to talk about stress. Usually we are here with Bruno, but he couldn't come today, so that's why I'm here to replace him and make sure the conversation happens. Okay, so first we just introduce ourselves, so I'm going to ask the second question to Anna so we can warm up. Are you a stressed person and why?
I can need to introduce myself.
No, we
Right?
can go to the
Okay.
question.
Okay. No, I am not. I am a calm person. I don't know because, but I've always been a calm person. I can lead another person without stress because I worked as a teacher and I had hard moments in classes, but most of the time I was not stressed. But yes, I am not a stressed person.
It's basically a gift to be a teacher and remain calm, a
Yeah.
lot of stressful situations.
Yeah.
Happy to
Grateful.
know. Yeah, I'm happy to know that. And how about you, Luis? Are you a stressed person?
Well, I don't consider myself as a stressed person, but I need to confess that I have some moments of stress, and I think that most part of this is related to the work that can have some stressful situations. But that's it. This can happen, and I'm building some tools to deal with. All right. When I have some stressful day, I try to go out after work. I try to ride a bike, to walk with my dog, to it's a way to deal with, to not thinking about too much.
Yeah, but in my case, if I have to go out with my dog, I will be stressed because he's crazy. He walks too fast, and I try to keep up with him because he's new, so a lot of energy. But I feel you. You can have some ways to handle the stress.
Yeah.
And can you choose the next person? Yeah. Katiana, I think you didn't listen. You can go.
Okay.
Mhm.
I consider myself very calm and patient, but it's not usually I'm a stressful person. But I think in the last months for me it's very difficult because I stay with a new situation in my family, and I go to the hospitals all the time, and sometimes I'm very stressful with this because it's a difficult situation. My father have a cancer now, and I stay many times in the hospitals, and it's this place. It's very stressful for me, and I think in the last three months I'm very stressful, but it's usually I'm a very calm person.
Yeah, the situations can change a lot our behavior, right? And like I told you that I wish your dad the best in the other meeting, but I'm going to reinforce this idea because I really hope has a good recover. Okay, and thank you for sharing about your personal life with us. It's really important.
Thank you. Thank you.
And deep because you don't have to, but you chose to share and be honest, and that's good to know if you're comfortable to talk about it. And as for myself, I'm not a stressed person. Sometimes, yeah, like Luis mentioned, the situations can make us feel stressed. But I usually I'm not the kind of person who's going to give you an answer or I'm not the type of person who's going to get into an argument, because for me, it doesn't make sense. I like to preserve my peace, but I understand sometimes it's not easy to control your emotions. You don't think so much before saying something, so you can have a reaction that you wouldn't like to, that's normal. And guys, let's go to the next question. Okay, question number 3. In our daily routine, we usually pass through some stressful situations. What can we do to keep our minds in peace? Like Luis mentioned about walking his dog and some other ideas. Maybe Anna have something to share with us. Do you have something?
In my case, nowadays I am retired, so I stay at home all the time. I live with my mom and my husband. Sometimes my mom says something that I disagree, so I try to help and to avoid this determinate subject, because I feel that we talk to each other about determinate subject. I think it's not necessary. I try to breathe and to keep calm. In determinate situation, I walk on the street. I love walking on the street. I think for me, it's very good and it's necessary to see to around my house. There are a beautiful park and a beautiful lake, and it's possible to walk around the lake. And for me, I most of the time I wear my headphone and I listen to different music and happy music. I love to dance, and I think this sometimes it's necessary not pay attention in determinate situation and to think about another thing. And in my case, I prefer don't talk about determinate subject, and I prefer to avoid determinate subject.
Yeah, it's very wise, but you have to be really patient to do that, right?
Yeah.
It's something that does a lot of work. But I would say, I think I'm like you. I like to avoid the conflict, So for me, it's more like that I do. And I also like to meditate sometimes. It is important to be in silence, because silence can be really calming, a moment for you to reflect about your life. Sometimes it's silence, but my mind is not so silent. So I have to handle this inner noise. It's very difficult sometimes, but I like to do this exercise. And also, I think lately I've been trying to be more loyal with my workout routine. So not workout, I'd say I like to do Zumba because I like to dance. I don't like to lift weights, for example. But dancing helps me to relax my mind a little. I don't see my phone for about an hour and some minutes, so it helps me to distract less and to be more focused on what I'm doing, that is dancing. And I feel more the energy is better as well. So for me that works really well. But it's not easy because sometimes I just want to sleep or stay on my phone instead of doing the Zumba, It is not something so pleasant for me every day. Yeah, but it's necessary. And how about you, Kat?
I think sometimes I have the stressful situations in my job, because my job is sometimes you and everything it's about time. And when you work with projects, and sometimes the people don't respect the time, and it's very stressful because you need to discuss the schedule and the other things. But when I feel very stressful, for me, I do meditations every day. For me, it's the best. And stay in a quiet place. It's a very pleasure for me. And go to the bed and sleep, I think, is the best when you in the stress situations, because I think the when you is sleeping, you forgot the problems, and the other day is a new day. For me, these things work a lot.
Yeah, just sleep your problems away, sleep until you forget the problems. And next day, next situation, new me, it's gonna be another chance for me to handle this problem. Very good. I agree with you. And you, Luis?
I agree with all you. And to sleep could be good, could help. Sometimes to avoid some stressful situations could be good, because I think that sometimes when I found stressed people, maybe that people are in trouble, all right, but not exactly me. And sometimes it's hard, but try to not get in that situation, all right. Sometimes we really don't know what's happened with other people. Maybe they are in trouble with problems and are stressed, and this not means that is a problem exactly with me, all right. And just try to do your better. Sometimes a lot of situations will affect us, of course. It's impossible not affected 100%. And that's it. Try to do your best. Try to not get inside this kind of situation. But if this happens, okay, let the stress go out. Take a time, take it easy. I think it's very hard. It's to do this. In fact, it's easy to talk and hard to do. I think I'm talking about a lot of tips that is very hard to follow, but that's okay. It's very hard to follow, but that's okay.
Yeah, I do the same here. I give a lot of good advices, but when it comes to practice, sometimes I fail, I fail myself. I don't listen to myself, but I know what you mean. And I really like what you said. We have to pay attention, right, to around us, because people can be facing a tough situation that we don't know about, and we need to be respectful and kind.
Yes.
Yeah, very good, Luis. I'd like you to start with the next question, okay? But not question number 5, because not question number 4, because it's kind of similar to this one, okay? But question number 5. You can read, answer, and then choose the next person.
Okay. What is the place where you feel that your stress hate can skyrocket? I don't know if I got exactly this question, but we are talking about the place that my stressful rise, my stress grows. Oh, I think
Yeah,
that some job situations, there is some situations that can lead my level of stress. Sometimes, yes, it's a kind of situation. Sometimes that I'm remembering now that sometimes there is some situations here in the city that I live, uh, when people talk about politics in a not polite way. For me, it could be not so good, and I try to just avoid these. Really avoid. I don't know if it's a better option to avoid this kind of situation, but it's the way that I'm handle this, and that's it.
Can you choose someone to
Oh,
answer the question?
okay. Anna, please tell about you.
Okay, I agree with you. I think at the moment it's better to avoid to talk about politics because the subject at the moment is hard. But in my case, I don't have one place because I am retired and although I I worked at school, but I've always been a calm person and hardly I had difficult moments and most of the time I avoid to discuss with another person. I forgot to say twice a week I do yoga. For me, it's excellent and it's possible to relax a lot. And I recommend. And I do meditation as well. I think it's very important. And after I started reading a book called The Four Compromise, for me it's very important because I think we have to take care by myself and the things that another person talk to me or about me, it's not important for me nowadays. I think I can live in my best moments in my life and I avoid to live stress and discuss another person and that's it. How about you, Katiana?
For me, I think the one place when I very sometimes it's not usually in the job. This have this it's possible start the stress in me, but I think when I have this situation in my job, I I'm a very calm person, and in this situation, I think I'm a breathe, I respiro, and stay very patient with the other persons because I think sometimes the other persons have problems and too, and uh, my mother says one phrase for me. Um, one one person don't fight it, we don't have fight. Quando você outra pessoa, quando uma pessoa não quer brigar, você não tem uma briga. And sometimes if the person is very stressful, I think it's brief and forget the things, and the other time you speak in the job, sometimes these things happen. And for me, I think it's in the job. And you, I think Sarah don't speak about this.
Yeah, just some comments because I like to connect, the answers. But I'd say for me, I was thinking here about public transportation because I was a college student for 4 years and I had to take every day. And in my opinion, it's like the bus brings the worst from people because they feel so stressed. Everybody's fighting for the space and everybody wants to arrive on time, and for this, sometimes the bus gets late and people are complaining about it. So for me, it was very hard. And I noticed that my life has improved a lot, my quality of life, since I stopped taking the bus so frequently, because for college, you have a lot of people going there the same time, so it's crowd. But if you have just to take a bus in some occasions, it has less people and it's okay. You can sit. I could never sit. It was very rare for me to have the chance to sit to the in the on the bus, and I didn't like so much, but it was necessary. But now I'm avoiding the situations that I need to take the bus. I prefer to walk, and sometimes I call for a Uber or something like this. But yeah, the bus is not the problem, because the problem is how we organize the public transportation, at least here in my city. But now I'm better. I'm calmer. And guys, the next question. Okay, so let's go to question number 7. Okay, Anna, I would like you to read this question for us so we can talk about it, and you can choose someone to answer after you.
Okay. Have you ever done a therapy or something related in order to keep yourself in peace? Yes, I I started doing therapy after I retired the first job, my first retirement, when in 2016 I started doing therapy. For me, it was very important, and I can deal with different problems in my family, mainly when my father died. After that, my brother was illness, and it was terrible. And I am grateful because I was doing therapy, and I was the calm person in my family, because other people in my family didn't get to deal with situation, and for me it was very important. I was doing therapy, and during the pandemic I stopped doing therapy, and in this year I returned. I think for me it's very important, because but for me it was very difficult to have therapy online. I can't do that, and nowadays I returned to do face to face. And I think it's very important to talk to another person. I have some friends, but sometimes I think the friends don't doesn't need or want to listen to listen to you. And I think when you are doing therapy, you have a person, a special person, a spirit person to listen to you. And for me, I think it's very important to do physical exercise, to do therapy, to do meditation, to do yoga, and I think and read a good books, and I believe there are good books, it's possible to improve our mind, our feelings, and to know myself. And I think that's it. How about you, Luis?
Well, I remember now that I've passed for very stressful moments at university some years ago, and for me it was a very hard moment because at that time, I didn't want to come back to university and finish it, and then therapy helps me how to deal with if I really want to come back or no, and this helps me. This helped me at that time. All right. And I came back and finished it. Oh, okay, but it was a very stressful moments. I've passed for months fully stressed.
Yeah, I can understand. University can be really stressful environment,
Yes.
especially.
It was
Go ahead.
it was yes, could be very stressful, and I had this for some semesters, 2 semesters specifically, and that's it.
Yeah, but I'm glad to know that you are feeling better now, because it's important, to pass the
Yes,
situation and then go to the next thing in your life. It's very
yes,
good,
yes, of course.
very good. And I would just add here that I've never had therapy, but I would like to, in this next year. I hope I can afford the therapy and be able to. I really like what you wanna said about having this person who knows about how to handle, how to give some advice, not advice, because I don't think it works like this, but they give you some perspective that your friends, your family might don't have, because they are looking at the situation in a way that is kind of biased, like they have influence over you because know you for a long time. So I think that could affect the things, the advice they give. And a psychologist is not someone who knows so much about your life, not a friend of you. It has, for me, the vision is clear, and sometimes when a friend gives you advice, maybe this person is not so, I don't know, not so ready to, not so prepared to give you this type of information, and it could be wrong. You could lead you to make some bad choices, for example. Yeah. So I'm going to do therapy next year. And how about you, Katiana?
And I think in 2 years ago I do therapy. For me, it's the best because I think when you do therapy, you know about you, and I think it's important. I think everyone needs therapy because I think it's very interesting, and you know about your feelings, your emotions, your reactions. I think it's very good, and I think therapy helps with the stress because your reactions. I think it's different when you do therapy because you learning more about your feelings. I think it's the best, but I think for me, for example, running it's the best thing for when I very stressful because I forget all the problems in the world and running, and after this it's it's I think it's about how do you say hormones. I think it's hormones. uh, you open the new hormones in your systems, and your mind it's very different after running. And I think it's very good for me. These things, therapy and running, it's very good.
For me, it's the same when I ride a bike. So I love riding a bike. feeling the air in my face. Oh, I love so much. It's very important to do things that we feel happy, we feel, yeah, I think it's very good.
I, I, th- I thought Katiana wanted to say something. Maybe not.
No, no.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. It's very important to have. Sometimes I say, oh, talk is like my therapy because I open my heart. I talk a lot of stuff, and sometimes deep stuff that I wouldn't share. Like I wouldn't uh go to a person, a random person in the street, and I would say something like I told you, I tell you here, but it's different. Like it's not the therapy, but it's the feeling. It's good to feel better about yourself, to feel relaxed, And I would say I would like to run as well, but I'm ashamed. Like I always think I'm gonna embarrass myself. I will fall on the street, or that I will run a weird way, So I don't have the courage to run yet, but it's amazing, for sure. And I think we have time, right, for one more question. So question number 9. Do you believe that stress can affect other areas in your life, not on the mental area, for example? Luis, what do you think?
Yes, I do. I think that stress can affect all our body, all our relations with other, can affect how we see a lot of situation around us, and sometimes can blind our eyes, I think. I don't know how to explain exactly in technical words, but yes, I have in mind that stress can affect a lot of things around us. Can affect our learning process, can affect our working, if stress are coming from work or not, but that's it. Can
Yeah,
affect our moments of happiness. Yeah, that's it.
yeah. Do you have something else to add, or do you like to choose the next person?
Anna, please
Mhm.
tell about yourself. What do you think about it?
Yes, I do. I believe the stress can affect other areas of our life. For example, when you plan a trip and during the trip can happen something different in your plans. And the stress change the moment, the feeling, and I think always when you live with some stress is uh, different feelings. For example, I believe there are some people eat more or eat less, and some people can't sleep well. And I think, for example, in my case, I lived to situations and I felt stress and I was bad, I was sad, and I was thinking about this situation all the time, and I can't do other things because I was thinking about this situation, and I think it's bad because after that I I try to keep calm and breathe because it's not good to feel stress. How about you, Katiana?
I agree. I agree with this affirmation, because when I think when you have stress, the stress put cortisol in your body, and the cortisol, it's the hormone. It's this hormone have a very relationship with the stress, and I think many diseases have a relationship with stress. uh, the mental diseases and other kind of diseases. Sometimes the doctor says about cancer and the other diseases. I think the stressful, it's now it's a big problem in the society, because the 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 life now is very, it's very fast, where the people don't have time for living the life, living a good life with the family, put your feet in the earth. And I think these things, it's important. Now the people will stay 2 hours in the traffic, and you start the day with a very stressful things. I think the the people don't change little things in your life, probably in the future the society, it's it's crazy. It's everyone, it's have a different disease. And I think it's these things start with the stress.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like, we have the most common disease here in our country are diseases related with stress, like heart disease or high pressure, for example. Especially my mom and my dad, they have like high pressure because of, I think it's about the years they pass with a very stressful routine. Now they have a calmer style of life, but in the past influenced our present. If you don't have ways to manage your stress, and back then therapy wasn't so well seen. Now people are more accepting more about therapy, about you admitting you have problems and how to face them. And I think in the past the people would like to, they they prefer to keep for themselves the bad feelings, the emotions. Now we're talking about more often, and I think that's a good hope we can have for the future, because we are opening our hearts and being more, trying to change the situations, and not only, oh, okay, I have this feeling and there is nothing I can do about it. We have options, and we can recognize the flaws and the situations we need to solve. It's very important. So maybe in the future we can have stressful situations, but also options and alternatives to handle them, I hope. And our time is about to finish here, but it was a pleasure talking with you. Does anyone want to add something about the topic, about the conversation in general?
I loved this topic, but sometimes it's very difficult to find the words to explain our feelings, our knowledge, and I loved this moment. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Even in Portuguese, I believe it can be hard. I never talked about stress with my mom. I had, but nothing to. I have some questions to answer here. Not just randomly talking, but sometimes, even in Portuguese, it could be a challenge to talk about some subjects. That's that's something that I really like here, because people are willing to talk about a lot of different things. Family, science, work, and it works. Somehow we manage to to find a good conversations.
Yes.
I think the conversation must be really good in the other one, because I'm not seeing anyone just yet, but I'm sure they're coming. And thank you, Luis and Katiana, as well for this time. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you all. I enjoyed a lot, as always.
You're always welcome to come back, and next week with Bruno, okay? And hey guys, welcome back. How was the conversation, Edna?
It's conversations very good. Was very good conversations. The group is very nice group.
I'm glad to know this. And I have a question for you, okay? We were talking about therapy earlier, and do you ever had therapy in order to help you handling stress? Question number 7. I just changed it up a little, but the same question, okay?
Yes, I therapy is very necessary for all people. It's very important to our self knowledge, and it's very important for the regulations, the emotions, auto-regulations, the emotions, and the peace. In my opinion, is very important. I practice. I done therapy.
Yeah, very good. I'd say the same thing, it's not just like to handle situations, but also to prevent you from feeling stressed or depressed about some things you are facing in your life. Very good, Edna. Thank you for sharing. And Jefferson, I also have a question for you. Okay. How important to you is to have someone to talk about your life in order to relieve this stress?
I think it's very important. In my case, I used to talk with my wife every day. We very open mind. We talk about everything. We used to talk about. I have a good friend that I used to talk a lot, and professors too that I used to talk about the problems of university. You need to solve this, solve that. What do you think about this? What do you think about this student or that student? What can do? What we can't do? How to solve the problem? So I think it's very important. But I think the most important for me now is it's my wife. That helped me a lot.
Yeah, who talks more, you or her? Yes,
No, it's
sometimes.
me. No, it's
Yeah?
me, unfortunately. Yeah. As a profession, I used to talk a lot. I can't stop. But just good things, no good things, important
Yes, of course.
things.
I was curious because I can see you communicate very well, and women have this. They are known as talkatives. How women talk too much, and I was like, who's gonna win this war? This battle, because Jefferson is a professor, and his wife might like to talk as well. But yeah, there are some women who are not so talkative. They prefer to listen more. And guys, I'm gonna share with you the link to survey, and you can watch the conversation on the second link, okay, here on YouTube. Rosalia, I also have a question for you. How was the conversation? And do you believe that sometimes stress can affect our areas in our lives? Like the question number 9.
Okay, the conversation was amazing because I was in the best team with Edna, Jefferson, and Ayla. It was amazing. The question 9, you believe the stress can affect the other areas of your life? I think so, because when you are in the stress, you can thinking about the nothing because the stress can stop your life for a while, then I think you need to pay attention in this situation and trying to revert it, avoid the situation to lead, and try, if you need some help, you need to search for some help to teach you to lead with the situation, because the stress is so painful. Painful, no, it's not useful for our life.
Yeah, right. It's also painful, right? It can lead to a lot of bad feelings,
Yeah,
and
it's
even
painful too.
physical diseases, like we're talking about high pressure and heart disease as well. Very
It
good
can
point.
become a disease, serious disease.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Rosalia. And Ayla, I'm gonna give you the last question, okay? Question number 4. Do you practice some activities to handle your stress? You can give us some tips, maybe. I'm willing to learn.
Yeah, I practice. I like to do meditation. I think after the meditation, I learned how to breathe correctly, and when there is some stressful situation near me, I try to take a deep breath first, and I I ask God to be more patient, to be more calm, and I let it all go behind, because I don't like to raise the bad feelings, and I try to avoid this bad situation. And that's it. It's difficult, but I try to do activities that makes me feel better.
Yeah, very good, Ayla. Thank you for sharing. I would say I was saying here the same thing, like you mentioned, that it's hard to do it because sometimes we're like a lot of good advices, but in practice it's a little bit complicated to put this in action, you know. But I really like what you shared about with meditation and taking your time, doing something that you like. Very good. And guys, we have another meeting coming with Gabi about, sorry Jefferson and voice, but only for women, okay? But I'd like to thank you so much for your time and patience here with me today. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation. And I'm looking forward to see you next week, okay? Here with Bruno, but he's gonna be the host because I know you like him more.
Okay, Luluzinha's meet now.
Yeah, Luluzinhas.
I'm out.
Thank you, Jefferson. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.